the magazine in 2003. I've been working in before that in marketing with my mother, who had a factory for children's wear, freelancing for a magazine, a local magazine, doing the fashion pages. So I've always sort of been in the business of fashion, advertising and everything. And I felt, you know, at the time there was no decent fashion magazine, not only in Egypt but in the region as a whole. And I said, why not do something regional, a fashion magazine like you have abroad? So this is how I started. Well, it's a huge business, you know, I mean, and it's growing every day, and there's more brands, more designers, more supply. Of course, it has changed, and I think it has changed from having, at a certain time, we're talking designers, they were basically all big names. Till maybe 20 years or 15 years ago, you would talk about the big names, and then you have just, these are the designer names, and then you have brands. This has changed, of course, with that boom of emerging designers everywhere in the world. And I think also it has changed a lot because with when brands like Zara, Mango and H&M started to come out, that people have changed their shopping habits. Even people with money, affluent people, buy high street brands today and want the mix. So they also look for labels and brands that are new. They want to discover new brands. So of course, then again, through social media, it's very easy, and you have a lot of websites, online shopping stores that really bring you new discoveries, new brands from around the world. And everybody wants to look different and wants to have something new that nobody else has. I actually started before that. I had created an event called Luxury for a Cause that we first started in 2008. It was an annual event. It started with an annual event that had retailers showcasing and selling. But then the mix was more, we had more local retailers selling international brands, and we had one large room, I remember, with like 10, 12 Egyptian brands. Very small, and they were sort of all starting their businesses. With the changing what do you call it, landscape of retail for the designers, who don't really need anymore that much a platform to sell, we are considering changing the system more to really basically having it as a showroom where they can exhibit their pieces. Well, the industry has really grown here, and they need so much, everybody needs so much mentoring, guidance, and there's still a lot of wrong perception. I mean, everybody, all the young designers I've met, they all are doing their own brand. In the West, that's not the case. People go and work for other brands, they get experience even before, or they'll always stay working for another brand. Now, of course, I understand that we have less opportunities here to work for another brand because we don't have many big brands unless you work for a factory, which is a whole different setup. So I understand that, but it's not really about having to have your own brand and being a designer. Don't be too fast in trying to move on. Build your brand here first, establish it, and then look at the second step. Been very late because contrary to the Lebanese market, where the Lebanese people used to always support the designers and wear them, we started very late. I mean, there's been designers since 20 years, 15 years around, and the support was very little. You wouldn't find many people of the society who would wear them or support them. This has changed. The young generation really goes out and buys Egyptian brands and supports them, and of course, so it's become in to wear Egyptian. Well, it's all about mentoring, nurturing young designers, teaching them everything. There needs to be education, because you can only grow to a certain extent if you don't have the right education for what you're doing. So that's very important. Mentorship, being professional. I mean, this is something where we have a big problem. Being committed, it's we all know it's fashionable and nice to be and say I'm a fashion designer, but that's not enough. And for us, for instance, as the founders of one of the founders of the Egyptian Fashion and Design Council, this is something where we really look into a person that gets mentoring, that gets support, that this person really deserves it, because is this person really capable or does even want to go all the way? Because, like I said, it's fashionable, so a lot of these young girls or young men say, oh, I want to be a designer. They have the parents who can start them a business, but that's not enough. If you don't have the education and if you don't have the commitment to work hard and to learn. And so this is, I think, our biggest problem is the attitude, being professional, and how much you really want it. Between the magazine, now the newly launched online, the Fashion Council, so I'm quite busy and have a lot of plans. We want to increase the numbers of fashion talks and workshops as part of the council. We want to also try to establish a program that gives our local artisans sort of credibility, and because this is a big problem we have, that a lot of our artisans are dying out because they do not teach the next generation their crafts. And we also always want to push local designers to use our handcrafts, because this is what will make you unique in the international market. This is what will make you appeal to an international market, because you don't need to, you know, knock off an international designer, because there's plenty of other people who do it, and they'll do it better and cheaper than you in manufacturing. So sort of helping to revive or to grow again the local artisan is a very big and important thing for us. And this is something we really want to put a focus on. So it needs a lot of research first and studying before you should take the step. Yes, I'm going to invest in this. I think that's the most important, that a lot of people don't do. They just think, oh, my friends told me, oh, you have good taste, why don't you do a brand? No, that's not it. You really have to have the knowledge, the education, and the market study for it. I think take it day by day, right?